Hi there and welcome to a special episode of Andy Robinson RC. This is our 100th episode, so just before we carry on, would like to say a massive thank you to everyone who supports this channel, watches the videos and subscribes as well. Really is appreciated. So for our 100th video, I thought I would bring down from upstairs the current collection, which we have. I think we've got about 17 here, but there might be a couple more upstairs in the attic, but we won't mention them, so shh. Yeah, there is one or two more upstairs in the attic, but I'm not getting them down for this. There's another Trf-201 up in the attic. I think there's a I'm trying to think now, maybe a DF03. I think that's it. I can't remember. But yeah, I'm not getting them out the attic. It's too much of a bit of a hassle at the minute. So yeah, so I've got these down. This is pretty much all the collection. Now there has been a few changes which I'll go into, but let's have a quick walk around and have a look. Okay, now a reason I can do this video today in the living room is because I have got the house to myself, as my wife has got the kids and she's taking them out for a little bit, so it's given me a good opportunity to get all these down. Okay, so as I say, pretty much I think you'll have seen all these on the channel at some point, though there might be one that you haven't, but we'll see. So starting off with, this is my team associated factory team car, which I ran last year at the Lakeland Classic, which is cool. Now I did shoot a video yesterday with my my Mint B3 sort of basic sport kit, and I did pinch the body shell and wing off this to run it, so it kind of looks the same in a way. But this is definitely the factory team kit. Okay, moving on. I love driving that car, by the way. Here is another. This is like a holy grail car for me. This is a Tamiya Trf-201 with an Exotec +8 conversion. So yeah, I haven't even ran this yet. I've not had time because I got this through lockdown last year, and I'm waiting to get the right electrics for it. But eventually I shall be racing this as one of my race cars. But I absolutely love that. Love the Trf-201s. My favourite car of all time, as you may know, is the Tamiya Sun Viper. This is my my MS Plus edition, which is like way past the spec of an MS DT02. But I absolutely love this car. This is my favourite Tamiya ever. It seems a bit odd because it's not, like, in general terms, it's not an overly special Tamiya, or, you know, it hasn't got any particular pedigree, but I did, this one got me back into racing, and I did have some good races with this, and I spent a lot of time and effort on it, and now it's just an occasional runner, and a car that sometimes I put in concourses. So yeah, I absolutely love that. So I have got a brand new body as well, which I've just painted up, but I am waiting to get some of the Sun Viper decals, which I can't seem to get at the minute, because I need the window stickers for it at least. Okay, another one of my favourites, the Jun Watanabe Hornet, which we restored on the channel sort of back end of last year. So I absolutely love this. Now what I want to do for this, and I haven't found, well I have found some, but I'm not prepared to pay the prices for them. I want a Tamiya Acto Power Off-Road pink motor for it, just because it'll look ace in the back of it. But I'm not bothered which variant of the motor, but I do want one to put in it because I think it'll look ace. Or the Trinity do, I can't remember which one it is now, Trinity Horsepower or Monster Motor. Can't remember which one it is, but that's also got a bright pink cam. So if I could get one of them, probably cheaper than an Acto, power off-road mower. I could put one of them in as well. So yeah, that's cool. So moving on to the next line. Now, this is, I'm not sure if I've shown this one on the channel yet, I can't remember now. This is my brand new 2020 Terrace Scorcher, which is rather cool. And now I've entered that at the Lakeland Classic for this year as well, and that will be my 4-wheel drive entry. Now, it does need some electrics for it and the motor I want to put in it, so I need to get all that sorted. But I really like that. I love the shell on it, it's ace. And what else we got? It's my Tamiya Tt02bms. Now, I managed to drive this last weekend. I managed to get up to Northwest Nitro, which is the outdoors track near us. And Chris, the chap who runs the club, said we can hold, the Blackpool and the File Club can hold practice days there. So we went to the first one last week. There's more coming up, and we hope to run some proper events there at some point, maybe this year. We'll have to see how everything pans out. But yeah, that went round surprisingly well. I was pretty pleased with that because I had set this up for running indoors. I've been using this at the indoor track for Blackpool and File Club. But yeah, and all I did really was put those wheels and tyres on it for outdoors. And it went surprisingly well, really, which is good. And next up, which we've seen on the channel recently, that is the RX Fighter Buggy Memorial Dt01 with the sparkly, cool, clear gearbox I put on, as you can see. So there we go. That's there. I like that. That's cool. Now, this one, I also took this to the track along with my Tt02bms. And this is my Schumacher Top Cap. Now, we did a running video on this. I think that was probably, was it end of last year? Sometime, I can't remember now, maybe this year, beginning of this year. I can't actually remember. But I haven't touched it for a few months. Now, I did fit the brass front bulkhead weight to the car, and then I haven't had the opportunity to run it, but I thought I'd take it down to Northwest Nitro, give it a shakedown again, because my lad Devlin is going to run this at the Lakeland Classic, so I wanted to see how it was driving, and I actually had a blast driving that round. It went round the track so much better than I thought it would, because as you can see from the tyres, they are not ideal for driving on Astro, but it's the only tyres I had at the minute for it, because I don't have any other wheels to fit this yet. And yeah, it went round surprisingly well, so with the right tyres it'd be brilliant. And yeah, and it's got the front brass weight on it. I've also put a much quicker servo in it as well, and it's transformed the car. It drove really nicely, so I'm really happy with that. So my lad will be racing that at the Lakeland Classic this year in August. Okay, so I'll move around again. Okay, again, another recent build, but I've not done anything with apart from build it. Was my brand new in box re-release, like from the early 2000s, Mardave Cobra, which again is completely freshly built. And again, I'm hoping to take this to the Lakeland Classic at least as a backup car in case my B3 has any problems or anything like that, or Devlin's car has a problem. So I need to fit that out with electrics and stuff. But yeah, very cool. I'm very glad I've got that in the collection. You've got to have a British race buggy in your collection. Okay, moving on. Again, I raced this particular car at the beam axle, live axle, whichever you want to call it, or the Grasshopper Hornet class at Blackpool in the File. This is my Superstorm Dragon, which I run, and yeah, it just drives really nicely for one of these cars, and it feels like I've got the right balance for when I run it inside, and I've been really enjoying that. So yeah, also you may remember I did a video on that, and I'm not going to go in too close to it, but I knackered the body shell on that, so I'm still on the look for another one to replace it. But from here it looks alright, but I'm just going to use that as a racing body now. And then we've got my other Tt02 Sun Viper. Again, this one I actually got off Mark Swift from Swift RC. Then I did some more tweaking to it and some extra things, but I raced that a heck of a lot. Now, I haven't used this since last year when we did an outdoor meet at Northwest Nitro, and unfortunately my setup was all wrong. That's been mainly raced on carpet indoors, and it just didn't agree with the Northwest Nitro track. And unfortunately that day I broke the 2 rear wishbones, which is unusual, and a rear hub. Now, I've never really had anything break on the Tt02s apart from the obvious front shock tower, and that's the only thing I've really ever got. Oh, and I did break one gearbox half after a Schumacher, was it Schumacher Aero or something like that, or I can't remember now, K2, when hell for leather straight into the side of it when I was racing at Ribble Valley one night, and yeah, that totaled the snapped to where the hinge pin goes through the rear gearbox casing mount. So yeah, any other than that, I mean, it's tough as old boots really, but I just, you know, it's had that much use. I think those parts were probably, you know, had hairline cracks in that I didn't notice anyway. Running around that day with the wrong setup, just finished the car off. So I replaced all the parts, and I just haven't had the opportunity to run it since. But even if it didn't run again, I'm very loath to get rid of that, because I've done a lot of racing with it, and I've had some great races and with this car, and I just wouldn't want to get rid of it really. Okay, so moving on. Okay, we'll come back round as well. So on the back row there, we have got the Tt03 Racing Fighter Black Edition, a very mint team associated B3 sort of basic sports chassis, which is in like mint condition. I did the video for that running the other day. Now this definitely hasn't featured on the channel yet. This is what I replaced my FTX Ravine with, mainly because it's a Range Rover, and as you know by now, I really do like my Land Rovers, classic Land Rovers, Range Rovers, things like that. So I really fancied one of these. Now this came up on Marketplace, and yeah, it'd been well used, but it all worked as it should, and I picked it up fully working for 100 quid, so I couldn't say no. Now some of the links on it are a bit, sort of got a bit of surface rust on, but that was it really. And the body that came with it was the Range Rover lights on it, but it was not very good. The paint was terrible, so I sold that on and then put the money towards this brand new body which you see on it now. So yeah, it looks rather cool. Massive fan of the classic Range Rover. So yeah, this is a 1981 four-door Range Rover. But yeah, yeah, love it. So I'm looking forward to doing some crawling with this. I have had it out with the old body shell on last week when we went for a walk. It was super ace to run. But we've got the Blackpool and Filed RC Car Club Crawler Challenge coming up at the end of this month, so I'm hoping to enter that. So we'll do another video on that at some point. So I'll just bring this round here. Okay, so that's my Tt03 Black Edition. I just like to run this. It just gets to run up and down the street and around just when I'm messing about. So it does get run. I quite like it. It's quite cool to mess around with. Would I ever race it? Probably not. I'd probably run my Tt02, to be honest. I much prefer that around track, especially indoors. There we go. That is the very mint and time warp condition RC10B3. Just missing that battery strap that I need to get for it, and I need to get a body shell and wing for it. But yeah, I'm really pleased I picked that up, because you just don't get them really in that condition anymore. You know, it's very rare to find one that's never been used, although I have technically used it now. Okay, so coming around again. Oh, I don't think I mentioned this, did I? Haha, yeah. Sorry. That is my black edition, although the shell's not on it, Grasshopper. As you can see, it's got the white springs and the fluorescent yellow wheels. But the shell I like to keep all mint and with no damage on, so I keep that in a bag. And if I run it, which I do, I just use this candy green one that I picked up for messing about with. But yes, that's my black edition Grasshopper. Personally, I think that's the best looking Grasshopper they've ever released, but that's just me. But I love it, absolutely love it. It just looks cool. So anyway, looking at my cars, I do seem to like black cars. Sometimes that's just down to the fact that's the only colour paint I have in the house at the time. But I generally like black cars. must be the from the days of being a dirty goth. But yeah, anyway, and this is another one of my favourite Tamiyas, completely Marmite, the Tamiya Striker. Now this is in pretty much, apart from a little couple of scuffs I found right at the edge of the chassis at the front, this is mint, pretty much mint condition Tamiya Striker. Now I have fitted my Tt02bms Sevo oil shocks to this. I put the Sonic Fighter front shock tower on because I wanted oil filled shocks on the front, so that's where they've come from, because I've got aeration dampers on the Tt02bms. And also, as you can see, now I'm not sure yet, I think it's probably 50-50 that the rear wing and motor guard are either rip-dyed, because if they are, it's a very, very good job, or I'm hoping that there's like some limited edition from Japan, a black rear wing and rear motor guard, and it's a proper Tamiya colour. You just don't see many of them over here. I'll never know, but either way, I think that looks rather cool, and my plan is, when they release the black edition Grasshopper 2 in the next month or so, the wheels that you can see on there, they are black on that kit, and I'd like to get a black set for this. And also I want a Sonic Fighter white motor cover at the back. I just want to make it look slightly different without going too overboard. I need to paint the driver figure up in the cockpit, order some MCI Striker decals, and get some electrics in it. But this is totally on the back burner at the minute because I've got about 5 so cars to prep for the Lakeland Classic. So I had to sell some cars to be able to fund to do this. So that's on the back burner. Also, not part of my collection as such, but we've got the Playtron links there, which I will be getting up and running at some point in the future. We'll do a running video with that when it's done, and then again, I probably won't be able to keep this one in the collection permanently, and that might be moved on, but for now it is staying. So if you've seen a lot of our recent videos, you might be wondering where is the Tamiya Blackfoot that I did, the orange frog that I had, I'm sure there was something else. Oh, and I did buy an RC10 T3 to race, and which was the truck I used last year at the Lakeland Classic. Came up again on eBay and I bought it, but at one point I got into a bit of a mess, which is partly down to my depression, because it really can affect me, and sometimes I just don't think clearly what I'm doing. So I had to sell a few things on to recoup some money, and also because I've got to fund these cars I'm prepping for the Lakeland Classic and general racing. So I moved all those vehicles on, but I am still looking now for another stadium truck, which I'm watching a few at the minute, and I'm hoping to get one of them to run in the two-wheel drive vintage truck class, and we'll see how that goes. So there we go. That is my current collection and where things are at. Hope you enjoyed this, our 100th video. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch it. As I say, supporting the channel and subscribing, it really is appreciated. We're also well on now, on our way to 900 subscribers. So we're getting there. So super happy with that. So yeah, we'll leave this video here. Thanks again for watching. Take care of yourselves. And if you would like to see more content from this channel, please consider subscribing to us, hitting the like button and notification bell. Okay, yeah, that's it. Take care and we'll see you soon. See you later.